Welcome! Today I'm here to bring you up to speed on the latest bits of drama surrounding the Minecraft community, and I've been a part of this for about over a decade now at this point, and never have I seen this much drama surrounding something, not even in the good old 1.9 combat update days. I'm of course talking about the 1.19.1 Minecraft Java Edition update. 1.19.1 is adding a new player safety feature, being player chat reporting. It's a simple concept. You can join a server, you can open a new menu, you can select a player, select a few messages, a report reason, some freeform comments, and send it off for Mojang to review. Now, chat reports are nothing new among social media platforms as well as games, so what exactly makes this special now? On the 15th of June 2022, Mojang released a snapshot for the upcoming 1.19.1 version, which is snapshot 22W24A. But the changelogs were hiding something sinister. A new player safety feature, chat reporting, with little context given around this. All they told us was the obvious. You could report player messages by selecting them, selecting a reason, and giving a freeform comment. But this left a lot of open questions. How long would you be banned for? What could you actually be banned for? Is the process safe? Can someone impersonate you? And can you appeal a ban? We didn't know. All we got was a list of pretty vague reporting reasons, and with a lack of such answers, the community was quick to make their own, and thus the drama began. Not too long after, Mojang released the first pre-release for 1.19.1, adding a ban screen and showing the world you could be banned for being a bad person in a Minecraft chat. This only includes multiplayer though, unlike other people have claimed that it also includes single player. Now this and a lack of explanation surrounding the reporting reasons made people suspicious. One of those reporting reasons was called drugs and alcohol, which kind of implied you could be banned for nothing but talking about alcohol in a Minecraft chat. This made word spread fast, also with the help of a lot of large Minecraft YouTubers. People were quick to go to Twitter and Reddit to voice their concerns regarding the vagueness of reasons and that you shouldn't really be banned for talking about alcohol, and also said you shouldn't be banned for talking about such things on a private server at all. People on the modding side of things also found issues, specifically security issues, as far going as you being able to fabricate completely non-existent context around a message and thus being able to basically gaslight someone else. A mod called Gaslight showcasing this exploit went around a lot, but it is worth noting this has since been fixed. We were in pre-release phases, and the bug, has been fixed. It was just a work in progress. People were also suspicious of Microsoft or Mojang spying on us. And again, this kind of ball went rolling just because Mojang had a great lack of communication surrounding this, which meant people made up their own answers, even if they were pretty wrong. So, on the 23rd of June, Mojang released the first and supposedly only release candidate for 1.19.1, at least addressing part of the issues, mainly the vagueness surrounding report reasons, breaking them down a lot more. They clarified you could not be banned for just cursing now or just talking about alcohol, but only for more severe cases such as doxing, real harassment with using slurs, or for example encouraging someone underage to take hard illegal drugs. With the announcement of RC1, they also announced the then assumed release date for 1.19.1, which was supposed to come out on the 28th of June. That date arrived, people were waiting, but it just didn't happen. All of Mojang went just kind of radio silent for almost a full day, and only then the official Minecraft Twitter account tweeted that yes, the update was in fact delayed. With this came something Mojang had never done before, completely breaking a release cycle and going back 2 pre-releases from a release candidate. There, they also addressed some of the community's concerns with the following statement. We've made the decision to postpone the release of 1.19.1 and we're now going back to the pre-release mode. This is in order to address a few of our more noticeable issues. And again, they addressed more misconceptions and issues through an FAQ that if you haven't read yet, I would highly recommend you doing so. But in any case, let's just go through some of the more important points very quickly in a speed round. You will not be banned for cursing or light humor unless it's proper racist slurs, doxing, etc. You can in fact appeal bans. If someone spam reports you, they will be banned, not you. Mojang sees none of your messages except the reported ones, which means you are not monitored. Everything is going through human review, which means no automatic bans. They know this is also a heavily PvP based game, which means if you write down, I will kill you, they will know, okay, this might be written in some sort of PvP situation. And lastly, you cannot be impersonated. However, these changes did little to appease the ever-looming threat that are large YouTubers and their fan bases. The unfortunate reality was, many people either didn't know about the changes made to improve the system or didn't really care. All they wanted was the sweet, sweet drama. And so people and their fan bases kept lambasting Mojang. Before I get into negative examples of people riling up their fan bases, I want to first get to two positive examples. A day after 1.19.1 was initially supposed to be released, Suzuma Void released a video criticizing Mojang's lack of communication all around the reporting feature, but also defended its existence and also Mojang's intention around this. Unfortunately, this video wasn't taken in very well, so he had to make a second one clarifying some of his thoughts, and also still trying his best to calm down the most outrageous of allegations and assumptions about the chat reporting feature and himself. Another good video was made by Narfi not too long ago, and he basically just reiterates the Mojang FAQ and adds his own thoughts to it, but it is a good watch, especially if you don't want to read through two full Mojang articles surrounding this. Other YouTubers, of course, weren't so fun at this new chat reporting feature, and so they rallied their fanbase around basically non-existent issues, ignoring the whole system still being in an unfinished state, and also ignoring that Mojang was in fact listening to their feedback. I'd like to give two such examples that seem to have done the most amount of damage. Now the first one is actually a more neutral one by FitMC, who seems to have put a lot of weight on the then vaguely described reporting reasons. Despite things being cleared up on Mojang's side, many YouTubers, including Fit, did not forward this kind of information to their fanbase, letting them in the dark and continuing to believe they would be banned from their own private server for saying fucking chat, which of course isn't true. Generally though, Fit's video also addressed the poor communication on Mojang's side, and I don't have any issues with this or some of the other arguments in his video. Now, a more worrying of a theme is people actively misleading their fan bases. In one such example, a lot of people were actively confusing Bedrock's chat filtering, which has existed for a while, with the new chat reporting from Java Edition. The main two actors I could find on this were Phoenix SC and the Mr. Epic. To give some context, Bedrock has a proper chat book anvil filtering, which prevents you from writing certain words into these places. And this word list is plainly said very awful. So seemingly random words you cannot enter into chat or are replaced with asterisks. People such as Mr. Epic did make a clear distinction between Bedrock chat filtering and Java chat reporting, but they made the assumption that such chat filtering would also come to Java or would apply to Java, which is a very flawed argument. If you are into the technical side of things, you would know it is effectively impossible to implement such a chat filtering on third-party servers and clients for Java Edition. Now, this works on Bedrock Edition because they have a small number of trusted third-party servers. This is an entirely different story on Java Edition, where you can trust neither the client nor the server, which means you would either have to send every single message through Mojang services, which isn't happening, or every server and client would very easily completely disable the feature. Realms are a different story, but again, it is not happening on third-party servers. And there are also no code changes to suggest something like this is going to happen anytime soon. Phoenix SC, on the other hand, took it a step further. In his tweets, YouTube videos, and Twitch streams, he made the distinction between Bedrock and Java extremely vague, letting you basically believe that such a chat filtering is already in Java Edition or is definitely coming to Java Edition. While at least in his videos you were able to see the Bedrock chat UI, he did not mention the word Bedrock even once in his full videos, video titles, descriptions, Twitch stream descriptions, or tweets. And thus an untrained eye or angry viewer did in fact miss the distinction between Bedrock and Java, leading a lot of people, an influx of people, to think this was in fact already in Java Edition or it was coming to Java Edition. On the PaperMC Discord, we really do get a lot of these people thinking this is already in the Java snapshots, and we always have to tell them, no, you were kind of misled by Phoenix. Other YouTubers who haven't spread this kind of misinformation, but still a more general fear towards the chat reporting, includes people such as DocM77 and Venom, so not really small people either. But with all of the fear-mongering and misinformation going around, what does the reality actually look like? While a lot of people are talking about the chat reporting feature, no one is talking about what it actually does and more importantly what it can't do. In 1.19, Mojang started cryptographically signing messages in such a way that with the key Mojang provides, you can be 100% certain a message has been sent by a certain player. No other player or server can send messages on their behalf unless they downloaded a malicious client or mod. What you can do is basically the equivalent of taking a Twitter screenshot, modifying the text by hand, and then telling people, yep, this is what they said, which of course no one will believe. It is not possible to impersonate someone. When reporting, Mojang does expect a certain amount of context of messages surrounding reported messages to be included, and also automatically includes more, which in previous pre-releases was flawed and had the aforementioned security issue, but has since been fixed, so this is no longer an issue, at least as far as we know. These kind of valid issues are drowned out in the pool of misinformation and FUD spread around by, certain YouTubers and their fan bases. And again, only reported messages and a bit of context are sent to Mojang, nothing else. They've also addressed that if someone spams reports or makes a lot of false reports, they are going to get a temporary or permanent ban, not you. Also, as I've previously outlined, just on a technical side, it is basically impossible for Mojang to implement a chat filter in Java Edition like it is on Bedrock. If you want a more technical overview regarding the chat signing process and also the infographic I showed previously, I'll leave a link in the description for you to read. Now to three of the main arguments a lot of YouTubers, their fans, and people surrounding the Save Minecraft movement spread around. Number one, why doesn't Mojang just implement mutes instead of bans? The answer is rather simple. You would have to send each and every single message of you to Mojang services in order for this to actually work, which of course you don't want because you don't want to be monitored completely. The only way of preventing someone to type into chat without sending everything to Mojang is to just ban them from session servers, aka banning them from multiplayer. If you didn't send each and every single message to Mojang, or probably even if you did, servers could very easily lever out the mute feature completely, rendering it useless. Number two, the whole system should be opt-in, especially on private servers. This, at least in my opinion, is a very terribly thought out argument, because every single server who does want to doxy people on their server or can create a safe space for predators, for people doxing people, and just the worst of the worst, they can just let people on their server with no consequence whatsoever. And secondly, if you had an opt-in on the client, it would be useless. The client can just ignore it. If you had it on the server could tell the client they have reports enabled, but they actually don't, making them believe they provide valid reports, but nothing actually goes through. And again, if you put half of the power back to the client, they can ignore it as well and just send it off to Mojang anyways. So there really is no way for Mojang to provide a proper opt-in mechanism. All of this is also ignoring that the most popular modded server software, Paper, and its upstream Spigot, currently do not support sending signed messages at all, which means you cannot report people on Paper servers. And even if it did later on, it would be as easy as adding like a 20-line plugin to your server to completely disable reporting functionality without much consequence. But again, then you would kind of willfully take power out of your players' hands to be able to combat their bullies or even predators unless they go to you specifically. Which brings us to the third and most important point. On my server, I set the rules. While I can understand the frustration that comes with a higher power suddenly deciding about your player's ability to play Minecraft, Mojang have made very clear they only intend on striking down the worst of the worst, meaning racial slurs, child predators, doxing, and other such severe attacks only. In no world would you want these kinds of people to not be banned from the entire platform. Because even if you ban them, they would just go on to the next server and do the same thing again, or even worse. This can also include private spaces and private servers, but again, you can very easily disable the reporting feature by yourself on a server. What people like Suzuma and DocM are definitely rightly criticizing is Mojang's communication, or rather lack thereof. The initial reporting feature was explained way too poorly and then way too late again. The clarification regarding report reasons also came too late, and since going back to pre-releases, we have heard little of their actual plans going forward. But where exactly does this leave us now? With 1.19.1 not yet released, Mojang still has a lot of issues regarding chat reporting to fix until the proper release. But considering they did go back to pre-releases, have amended their policies, it is clear they do want to make this right and fix the remaining valid issues that have been reported. The most recent example, of course, being the forging of context that has been fixed in pre-release 4. There has already been a plethora of client-side mods and server-side plugins to disable chat reporting functionality, but please be aware most of these don't actually go the simplest route of just levering out the feature, but instead break basic chat functionality and mostly also other plugins and mods. These kinds of broken mods include the popular No Chat Reports fabric mod and other Spigot plugins such as No Chat Report, No Chat Reports, and No Encryption. In a similar fashion, any client-side mod removing the sending of the profile key will likely make you unable to join most of the 1.19.1 servers once it is released. And in general, a server-side plugin achieving this really only needs to be 20 to 30 lines of code and not more. If you see a plugin or mod be a lot larger and advertise a lot more features, it probably does something stupid. So, is Mojang going to falsely ban millions of accounts? Are you going to get banned by being impersonated or lightly joking with friends? And is Mojang going to spy on you? The answer to all of that is probably not. All we can do is wait and see how this system turns out once it is released, knowing that Mojang is listening to feedback and continuing to improve the system. To Mojang, please improve your communication, especially regarding early testing of features. And to the viewer, leveled criticism is important, outrageous assumptions and insults are not. So please, try to keep any discussion surrounding this civil, no matter how much you think the other side is wrong. Thanks for watching.